So welcome everyone to this episode of ForageCraft. So, in this episode, this being the last one of Season 2, I'm hoping to get all of the, just sort of finishing up the last little bit of the ground portion of the base. There are going to be some floating rocks up here and some vines, but that I want to wait until I have the terrain around here finished, just because it'll impact it. I want to put in the rest of the trees that I want to work on, get the last of those, get the greenery, as well as extend the river the rest of the way to the seashore, and I want to move these cats in there, I think, because I don't want to put them anywhere else, because that could end up getting laggy, and I don't want to deal with lag while I'm working on that. So at least anywhere else in the base, I don't want to deal with lag, and I don't want to deal with them while I'm working on trees. So I think what I want to start with, just to give myself a little bit of break from these trees because they're kind of exhausting to build, I want to work on the cherry trees that I'm hoping to put in here, the custom cherry trees. I'm hoping to use like a mixture of the new cherry wood and cherry leaves, as well as pink concrete, pink stained glass, pink terracotta, and I think maybe some azalea leaves as well. Maybe we'll see. I'm gonna mess around, see what I think looks good, and then we'll go with that and multiply that around, and then we'll bring the cats in here and maybe put a couple of sniffers down there as well, which could be very nice. Anyway, I will bring you guys back when I have the cherry trees completed. Okay, so welcome back. So, I have finished up a couple of things that I wanted to get done this episode. We have completely finished up the trees for the arena, as well as the other greenery, and I put a couple of cherry trees so around, just to sort of spread the because trees are not typically localized to one area. They often spread outside of their area, and it's sort of splattered around, so I decided to do that. But basically, there are like 3 general sizes of tree here. We have the large tree, which is, so unfortunately, I could not use the cherry wood itself because it was just so big, and it just didn't look amazing, and it was So I went with nether brick, which is one of the best things to use for wood, simply because it has both walls, stairs, slabs, and fences, which is the only item type that actually has all of those. So basically I did a stem of the walls with some slabs and or stairs going out with a bunch of leaves on them, and I splattered in a little bit of the pink glass panes in the middle. I experimented with some other larger tree types. It just didn't work because I was using like every single pink block, and it was just so obnoxious to have to make, and it didn't look awesome at all, and I actually destroyed all of them, so you won't even get to see them. So I decided to go with this instead, and it leaves the nice pink particles everywhere. We have the sort of medium, because in a forest, you're not just going to only find full-grown trees. You're going to find some smaller and some even smaller trees. They're going to be like little saplings and stuff around, so I decided to go with that. And unfortunately, the petals can only be placed on moss, dirt, grass, podzol, mycelium, that sort of thing. So I could only place them on the moss, which is like close to 50% of the ground. So like the terracotta and the concrete don't have anything on them, but I think that's fine. Yeah, I think it works pretty well combined with the big trees outside. And then if we want, I'll just do a quick fly around. You can see I've splattered them around the edge of the arena on the outside as well as on the inside. We got them out here, and they go like basically to there-ish. And then I also put them up top here with the flowers up top. And all that. I added them inside the arena itself in here. I love that echo. And I have some sniffers down here, which I hatched. I started them hatching like almost right before I started with the trees. So they've been in here for a while, and I've been collecting a little bit of the torch flower seeds and some of the other ones, the pitcher pods. I've been collecting a little bit of that, but I haven't been collecting like an insane amount. And I don't intend to use these guys as a primary production thing because they're just here for atmosphere, and I'm not sure they really fit anymore, but they're part of the update and I like them in there. And then, yeah, and also I moved the cats that were sitting in the way of the river out of the way, like they're not here anymore, and now they're spread throughout in this trading area. Like there were a lot of cats. They're all spread throughout in here, and they're also on this ring and area up top here. They're just sort of, I tried to scatter them, spread around here, just sort of going, and all that stuff, and like, they're just sort of scattered and spread. Words, exhausting, but they're around, and I have them as like sort of just decoration at this point. Because I mean, what else am I supposed to do with like 300 cats? So I just put them around, and I think they work pretty nice here. And I think in order to save myself more pain from having to build 10 million of these trees and then going straight to other trees are exhausting. Oh yes, and I also added in this to the tops of the tunnel itself, because it just adds them the little bit of leaf particle effect, and I think it just adds to the ambiance of the walkway. Yeah. And a couple notes about terraforming and like building forests. You got to be willing to put in the work if you want it to look good. Otherwise, you should just, if you don't want to put in the work or time to do this, because this took, I don't know how many hours, like a lot of hours. You got to be willing to put in the work. If you're not willing, just settle for the less fun trees, because if you try to mix in like the default growable trees with like custom ones, it could look off and it would just look weird. Oh, I almost pushed him off. It wouldn't look right, and it just, yeah, you got to be willing to put in the time and effort and the resource gathering as well, which is another big thing. Yes. And then also, when you're building trees, like, at least for me, when I'm building forests and things like this, I like to start with the trees and then put in the flowers after the fact, just because I'm not sure where the trees are going to end up, and having the flowers in the way, like on the ground, just makes it harder to place the bottom of the tree, and I just don't want to have to deal with it. So that's at least what I like to do. You don't have to do that. You can put in all the flowers first while you have easy access and you can see where you've missed, but that's not what I would recommend. And then also, when you're building trees, like I was saying a second ago, make sure, don't forget that it doesn't look, like, if you don't love it while you're working on it, that's okay. It's the small details at the end, like all the flowers, they just make this. It makes it look so much nicer with all the flowers and things. And it just, yeah, without all the little extra pieces, it wouldn't feel as realistic. And, yeah, be aware that it's not going to look amazing. And also, this looks pretty good like this with the puffy, let's see, we have resource packs, we have bushy leaves. We're going to turn that off just so you can see what it looks like without that. And I just vomit. Yeah, it looks, no thanks. Resource packs, bushy leaves. So much better. It just makes so much of a difference if you just have the right things to it. Like, it just adds that much extra. And be willing to go that little extra distance to do the little extra details, because they really make it. They can make or break a build. And yeah. Anyway, enough about that. I'm gonna take a break from forest building to work on the river, last little river segments on either side. I'm gonna be extending the river around this way to the coastline, just sort of clearing out the ground. The same on this side, just sort of finishing up the last little pieces of the like terraforming. And then, at least for the main island, I'm hoping to get some of the terraforming done on this island as well, but I'm not like 100% set on it. Like, I'd love to do this episode, but I'm not gonna push myself to try and get it done this episode. So I'm more focused on the main island, and then I would like to finish this before I finish the season. So Yeah, I think we're gonna work on the river going around, and then I will bring you guys back when I have the river finished. Okay, so welcome back. So I have finished up the river, at least to the point where I'm going to get it this time. So my process, first off, what I did was I did the connecting side on this side of the arena, just to sort of finish this off, because this was less in the way. And it was a little bit easier to deal with because it was a little bit of a shorter distance with a little more curve in it. So it was interesting. I'm planning on having it branch off this way here. But got it basically extended with all the stuff going on and connected it up. It does run into the shulker farm in here, so I decided to swap out some of the roofs so you can kind of get a little bit of that light and see in if you wanted. But still, I wanted to keep it somewhat hidden underground, so I didn't want to have it intersect too much. Now, on this side, I did some some work over here, but I didn't want to do too much because I don't know where the rest of that edge is going to go with that edge of the river and all that stuff, so I'm not doing too much other terraforming here. I just sort of finished off the edge of the river and the base of the house, which is sort of there. But I did connect this river up all the way down here and around. But before I could really get that done, I had to do some work on this desert island, and I re-terraformed it and added a good coastline that I did. I basically coated it with sand. I'm intending to put cactuses and maybe what are they called? Camels on this island eventually once I get the river all the way around. But for now, I want to leave it free of cactuses so I don't have to deal with them. Though I'm probably going to want to put something to deal with these guys, just because they are a pain. I don't know which one has the flag. I hope that was the one with the flag. Yes, good. Okay. There we go. Got him. Okay, so those guys plague me while I'm AFKing here. I still love the mods, and you may have noticed I do have a mini-map now, which I am very much enjoying using for building purposes. It helps me see where I've lit up, and also other things involved with like making sure I get all the blocks that I need to get with whatever blocks I need. It's just more comprehensive than the normal map. I'm still intending on keeping up that normal map, but I do like the mini-map. I extended this. It's going to be another joint over here because this is not a very big island. Yeah, I do like it. And for lighting on here, I was thinking about what I'd want to use. Like, we could use normal torches, but those are too boring. I was thinking the yellow shroom lights, but those are not shroom lights. The frog lights, the yellow frog lights, but they didn't blend well, so I decided to go with the basic candle instead, which gave me a pretty a simple way to blend in. I may end up putting some like green candles in here, like interspersed, just as like mini cactuses or whatever eventually, but that's not currently in the plans. Anyway, we'll see when we get to that. And I do still have some work with like some bridge arches going around on this ice bridge for where we have going on here. And we got it extended all the way around and just sort of finished up. But anyway, yes. Now, on to the last part of this episode that we're going to be working on. And that is going to be finishing up the forestry, the trees and plants and stuff that are going on around on the main island here. I want to get all of the custom trees and everything down that I'm going to have down. I want to get them all built. I want to have them all finalized so I can finally call this main island, at least for the majority of the land part of it, complete. I'm intending on putting floating rocks and vines up here eventually, but that is, like I said earlier, that's going to be dependent on the terrain around here, which I'm going to be building eventually in the next season, which is going to be fun. So, yeah. I guess we're going to end off this clip here, and I will catch you guys in the next clip. I really do love the animations. Like, oh, the idle, it just gives so much life to all these guys. Anyway, I will catch you guys in the next clip. Okay, and we are back, and a lot has happened, I guess. I've done a lot of greenery and trees, and I am very sick of building trees and placing flowers. But basically, I went around and just sort of, I guess you could call it sprucing up, or having a green thumb, but I basically went around everywhere around my base on this main island here, and I added in the couple trees that were missing, smalls and mediums. So I had done a bunch of the large trees, but I still had a bunch I needed to do. So I tried to miniaturize this like I did with the cherry trees and create some smaller versions. So I have a sort of mid-level, they're going to be scattered around and just sort of, there are a bunch that are different, but they're basically like this. I basically made it smaller by changing out wood for fences, oak wood for spruce fences there. And then I made like basically little seedlings here with just the walls that are 1 block thick. And I think they turned out pretty good as smaller versions of the trees go. And on this half, I included peonies and the cherry the pink petals. I included them around on this half of the island, and I decided to fade them out on the other half. And we go basically around here, and you can see it's just sort of nice and pretty and looking fabulous and just sort of a lot more alive than it was, which is very much what I want, and I think that's good. And I think we're going to be ending this episode here. Oh, and also, I did a little bit of work on the ice bridge here just to sort of make it feel more included in the terrain and everything, because it felt just very much floating, which I mean is not terrible considering it was basically just there to extend and connect places. But I decided to incorporate it using some archways and add in a little bit of andesite to break up the monotony of the bricks, which I think does a pretty good job of that. And I think I'm going to try and continue this pattern going on both sides of the ice bridge either way, just so we have that going. And I think we'll do this another day once I get around to terraforming the area around here. And yeah, I think, if memory serves, this video is coming out very close to Christmas, and we should be having a video coming out either on Christmas or the closest Thursday to that, which is going to be a special episode, which is going to be fun. I'm hoping to have some people join me for some fun. And we'll do that, and then I think that one will probably end up being the finale of this season. And then we will do a little bit of changing it up with season 3. We're going to do a little different stuff because we're going to be mostly terraforming and doing some other mega building projects. But considering my schedule and how erratic my building is, well, I'll explain it when we get there. But for now, I'll explain it when we get to Season 3, Episode 1. But I guess we're gonna end off this episode here, now that we have officially finished the ground portion of the base, and only maybe minor changes eventually will end up happening, which is going to be okay, but that's fine when it happens, and we'll see how it goes. So, if you guys enjoyed watching me suffer and build trees, please hit like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode, which should be the Christmas episode. If not, we might do a short form video in between. I need to check my calendar and check things, but I guess I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.